The important shift is not that peace suddenly broke out in the Gulf. It is that Iran moved from rejecting a broader ceasefire on Monday, April 6, 2026, to accepting a narrower two-week ceasefire on Tuesday, April 7, 2026, tied to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. That gave oil and shipping markets a real breathing window, even though the underlying war risk is still there. On April 6th, Associated Press reporting said Iran rejected a 45-day ceasefire proposal and demanded a permanent end to the war. By April 7th, AP reported that Tehran accepted a two-week ceasefire instead, after Pakistan pushed for a shorter window, and follow-up negotiations in Islamabad on Friday, April 10, 2026. That is not a contradiction so much as a narrower diplomatic landing zone. The Strait of Hormuz matters because it is one of the most important energy choke points in the world. When the route is constrained, the risk does not stay local. It spills into crude prices, shipping insurance, refinery planning, and broad market sentiment. That is why a temporary reopening matters even before anyone can claim a lasting settlement. What the two-week deal buys is time. It lowers the immediate odds of a fresh infrastructure shock, gives mediators a narrow runway, and reduces the chance that the next market move is driven by a total Hormuz squeeze. But it does not settle the war. AP reported missile alerts and attacks were still happening across the region even as the ceasefire was being announced. It also gives shipping firms, insurers, and governments a narrow period to test whether the route can stay open without a new immediate escalation. Markets moved fast because the downside scenario changed first. A functioning Hormuz route, even for a limited window, is very different from a forced shutdown combined with threats of new strikes. AP reported oil prices fell and U.S. stock futures rose after the agreement. That response makes sense, but it is a relief trade, not proof that the crisis is solved. The reason this is only a breathing window is that several failure points are still live at the same time. Shipping has to keep moving, attacks have to stay lower, and diplomacy has to hold long enough for the April 10, 2026 Islamabad talks to matter. If any one of those breaks, the market can quickly start repricing Hormuz risk upward again. That is why this story still belongs in the danger category, even after the immediate relief move. The cleanest read is that the market got a temporary diplomatic window. That matters, but the window is only 2 weeks. Implementation is still messy, and the region was still taking fire even as the announcement hit. Lower risk is not the same thing as no risk. The bottom line is straightforward. April 7 lowered the immediate danger. Hormuz reopening matters because markets key off it. The next proof is implementation, not headlines.